4 teams are left in the NFL playoffs. The first mock draft of the year has came out, and Major League Baseball still can't sign a big-name free agent. The Main Event Podcast, it's coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Main Event.
My wife wishes we didn't have pause on the control because, some question like, what's the difference between a vulture and a buzzard?
Right.
Will surface, and all of a sudden I'm freezing the show, and she has to wait until I sort that, and then we can proceed from there.
Yeah.
And then this lady just wiped out.
Oh, right in front of you?
Yeah, on her bike.
Oh no, is she all right?
I don't know. Are you okay?
Yeah.
So, so then you got to wait till that gets that mystery gets solved,
That was Mike Leach on with Ben and Skin earlier this week. They're 105.3 The Fan. Gosh, always a fun interview. I wish, Steve, that we could just go drive in the car and just have Mike Leach's phone number. We just call and just say, hey, what's up, coach? For 5 minutes a day.
What? Yeah. What? I can only imagine what you would get on a day-to-day basis. It's like that one. Lady crashed on her bike. we gotta hear the interaction of it.
I mean, the full interview was great. If you haven't heard it, it is actually up online somewhere. I'll tweet that out for everybody later on. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Main Event Podcast. Make sure you like us, actually, at The Main Event Pod. On Facebook at The Main Event Podcast. On Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, you can follow me at JasonCarter03. And you can follow Steve at
SMAC500
on all 3 of those platforms as well. As we are getting down to the nitty gritty, going to be talking about NFL playoffs today. First mock draft is out. I know Steve loves mock drafts,
especially in January.
Nothing like Mel Kiper 1.0 and having to pay for it for ESPN Plus.
Are you serious? They're doing that this year?
Yeah, thank God.
Free?
Thank God for Reddit, though. I got it off Reddit, the entire thing. I was like, somebody had to have put this up somewhere.
I did read a headline last night where it said Mel Kiper predicts 3 quarterbacks going in the first round. And after I read that headline, I closed my computer and went to bed because I was like, why did I just waste my time reading?
Well, we're going to talk about those 3 quarterbacks later on in the show. One quarterback, though, we're going to talk about right now being Kyler Murray, who declared for the NFL draft this week. Finally, officially got that out of the way. The Oakland A's made a strong pitch, a huge pitch to Kyler Murray. And, they were Kyler was like, 15 mil, I'll stay, I'll play baseball, give me a 40-man roster spot.
They denied the $15 million, though.
Yeah, that's what he was begging. But Billy Beane flew up in there, was like, hey, man, look, Kyler, look, I'm Billy effing Beane. Let's go. Brad Pitt plays me in movies. Okay, let's be real here. The MLB actually sent marketing teams to go in this.
I know, but they denied a lot of that and said that the $15 million figure wasn't accurate.
Oh, it was so accurate.
And then all he did was declare for the draft. He can still pull out. He can still not do it. It's just he had to declare at that time. He's not going to not declare for it, right? And then, he's not
playing baseball.
Are you sure?
He's not going to play baseball.
I agree because I think the feedback he's getting from baseball is, he's quote unquote raw, which basically means we don't know what the hell's going to happen with you.
We don't know what kind of talent you are. You're a good talent.
And if you're going to be a first round quarterback, you got to go to the NFL, right?
Well, it's crazy because Deion Sanders even came out with advice that he would give to Kyler Murray. He said, I would pick up the bat and not even look back.
Well,
Deion was saying, I regret not spending more time doing baseball. I wonder what Bo Jackson thinks, though. But Deion was a good player.
I know, but here's at Deion now looking back at his football career and how much money he gave up not playing baseball. You make more money playing baseball if you're good at it because you play longer.
Right.
And it's guaranteed money. Even if he has a lucrative NFL career 10 years, the average player is 5 years? A quarterback will go longer.
Yeah, quarterback's a bit longer.
Whatever. But even then, so you make $3 million as a backup quarterback for 6 years. A mediocre... What position does he play, by the way, in baseball?
I would assume second base.
I was going to say shortstop, but...
He's 5'9", too small for a shortstop. I think second base.
A lucrative second baseman, mediocre, can make $6 million a year for the next 20 years if he wants to. If he's mediocre, forget about being good and top of the line.
You don't have to hit two. What second basemans were? Back in the day was 295. You're solid. Now you're like hitting 230. You're golden.
I remember when Ryan Sandberg was one of the best second basemen in the league, and the guy never hit very good or any home runs or anything. Now you're expected to hit home runs and stuff, but I mean, if I was looking at it and it's not my decision, I would want to play football because that's obviously the sport he loves, and he's good at it, and he knows what his future is in football. However, as a 40-year-old man looking back at my previous life, I would sign up and play baseball for the next 20 years.
Yeah, I think, to your point, he loves football. He doesn't love baseball as much. He's just really good at baseball. He's just a hell of an athlete. So he's really good at baseball, but his heart isn't in it. So I'm like, go with your heart. Go with what your heart says.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
And then flip side to that, though, when you look at the baseball realm of it and everything, Major League Baseball is in trouble. And I think they realize it right here that they are in so much trouble. Go to a baseball game. It's boring. I love baseball, but gosh, there was games this year that we went to, and I was like, bro, let's roll.
I've been telling you since I've known you, the problem with baseball always has been... If your team is good, they're awesome games to go to. If your team is crappy, they suck going to. Even if you're playing a good team, they're awful to go to. And what's the problem with Major League Baseball in the last 10, 15 years? There's, 6 teams that are going to be good? Everybody else is just there for the summer, And that's the problem with baseball. They need what football has in parity. They need where, divisions are bunched up. I mean, everybody's surprised of going into... this year, what was it, the National League or American League? One of the two... the National League. It was wrapped up in end of August. It was a complete waste of time even playing any of September games. And that's their problem. They need everybody bunched together. They need the last place team, at least in the hunt or can spoil it or you have confidence they can spoil it and stuff like that. But I think this does become a
reality check
moratorium or whatever it is on baseball and versus football, because everybody says baseball is America's pastime, football is America's passion, but I think this is going to show where America lands. If a guy, Deion Sanders, you're not going to get the two-sport athlete anymore, but Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson couldn't decide which one to play, so they played them both, right? And now it's not even a question. The guy's like, I want to play football.
The big reason, I think, MLB marketing teams are going out there. First off, just side note, I don't know what the marketing team was really thinking. Hey, Kyler, we're going to build you up to this, because they have yet to build up Mike Trout to that level. And Kyler Murray is going to play on the West Coast if he's with the A's, right?
The commissioner came out and said Mike Trout needs to advertise himself if he wants to be popular. That's how ass backwards Major League Baseball is.
Exactly.
The commissioner is all, well, you got to promote yourself. What? No, Mike Trout should be on every commercial of baseball in some form or fashion, right? Football does that. You watch the beginning of Sunday Night Football. You see how many different players you
got Antonio Brown, you got Khalil Mack, you got Dak Prescott, Odell, Shaquan. It's even the rookies that are getting promoted too.
Yeah, and football is the traditional team sport, right? And even football's doing smart enough to do that, and baseball's not. It doesn't take that much, Manfred, to put Mike Trout on an advertisement on a game or on a going into whatever Sunday Night Baseball, having an ad with 20 of your best players in the league on there. It doesn't take that much to do. But anyway, baseball sucks.
Well, not only that.
Spring training's coming up.
Speaking of spring training is coming up, and guess what?
Nobody signed.
Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Dallas Keuchel are still on the market.
Who was the player that got mad this week because nobody'd signed and it's holding up his contract?
Well, Chris Bryant did say something about it. That has nothing to do with his contract or anything like that. But Chris Bryant did come out about it and was just kind of like, this is getting ridiculous.
I thought it was because...
And then there was a few other players that came out as well and was like, yeah, like, what the heck? Like, there were some tweets that were sent and everything like that. I mean, it kind of turned into a whole, like, what the heck is going on here?
We all know what the problem is. Well, most of us know. Scott Boras is the problem, the agent.
Right.
Last year, he kept J.D. Martinez out till after spring training started as a ploy to get teams to up their ante and their bids on him, and he got it. The Red Sox ended up giving him guaranteed upfront money, which no other team was willing to give him, just because they panicked in the second week of spring training. It was like, we got to get him in here. So Scott Boras is the one that's, signed last minute, last night. But it's holding up. How many other countless signees going into spring training,
But one of the weird things, and I think Chris Bryant brings this up, and I thought it was very interesting, because remember, like, when free agency first started, we were like, oh, man, everybody's going to be wanting Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and they went and did their visits.
Well, I didn't
say... Chris Bryant said at the Cubs annual Winter Fan Convention, he said, it's really weird. Two of the best players in the game, and they have very little interest in them. From just what I hear, it's not good. It's something that will have to change. I know a lot of other people are pretty upset about it. Like, there's no interest in these guys right now.
But there's no interest in them because they don't want to pay them their asking price. How many, in the last 2 weeks, one day it was Machado's got an 8-year deal. The next day it was Machado's got a $300 million contract. The next day it's Machado's only got a 5-year, $150 million contract. Like, nobody wants to pay that money to one guy because it doesn't move the needle in baseball. And baseball's been contracting salaries for the last 2 years, 3 years?
Yes,
they don't even want starting pitchers anymore. They want, hey, can you throw the ball for 2 innings and we'll take you out? They want those pitchers in there now. It's just because the financials of baseball, guaranteed contracts are ruining baseball. Everybody wants them and everybody loves them, but it's ruining baseball. Nobody wants to give a guy $400 million a year because it's just going to tie up all your payroll and whatnot.
Well, Brian also threw out this idea. He was actually asked why he thinks free agency has slowed over the past 2 winters. And like you said earlier on, only 6 teams are good. Chris Bryant said, he said, I'm not sure what the reason is, but possibility it could be that not enough teams are trying to be competitive right now.
Yeah, which is the problem with baseball.
Which makes sense.
Because they don't want to spend the money. Look at the Diamondbacks. They just unloaded their franchise player and all these other decent players with, quite frankly, manageable contract. Goldschmidt had a manageable contract for the next 2 years, and they unloaded him because they didn't want to pay him anymore.
Yeah, there was, looking back at it now, because I thought with the Goldschmidt trade, that was them picking a lane, but it didn't go that way. Like, that was a really bad thing. Like, you can't afford Goldschmidt for $14 million. I think after this year he was done.
You would have had to have paid him after this year.
You're going to pay him the $14 million, whatever. But now, they're still picking up some of that salary though.
Yeah, no. Oh my God, get on that tangent. What the hell? Why do you trade a guy and then agree to still pay half of his salary? What world do you live in that makes any okay? Oh, you're saving that half, but you're getting rid of a guy and still paying him? How ridiculous is that? Like, I don't understand that at all. It drives me nuts about baseball. Baseball is just so effed up in the head. And spring training's coming up, I think Harper's going to get his money. He's going to get his $300 million because the national deal is still on the table. So you know what Scott Boras is doing. He's working the phones, and he's going to wait till the last possible minute and then have Harper go. I don't think Harper cares where he plays. I think,
I actually got some funny Bryce Harper stuff right now, which I think is great. Since you brought that up, which is, I'm loving this stuff about Bryce Harper. So, Bryce Harper, in case you don't know, he is on the cover of MLB The Show. Did you know that? For this next year going in?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Bryce Harper is on the cover of MLB The Show. And right now they currently have Bryce Harper just wearing a black and white hoodie with a baseball bat. But MLB The Show every day will pretty much come out and say, who in the NL Central has the best food? And they'll be like Chicago pizza, St. Louis ribs, Wisconsin cheese. Whatever Bryce Harper is craving, step up to the plate and MLB The Show. So it's like, you signed Bryce Harper and MLB The Show. And then like Bryce Harper just will like tweet an emoji, like he did a chef emoji on that one 4 days ago.
So he's responding to it?
The next day MLB The Show came out with sunset, Rocky Mountains, desert. Follow Bryce Harper's journey and MLB The Show. So it's like, does he go to a West team and he like does these emojis about skiing, surfing, or playing golf?
What the?
And then the next one's like, do you think Bryce Harper could go to the AL Central? Explore the possibilities and MLB The Show. And he's just like, I don't know emoji. The next one, so which NL East team would go furthest with Bryce? And then he just does the thinking emoji. Like, it's literally like, I don't know if Bryce Harper's even. I think like the first team who gets him is like the first guy who like signs him on the show. He's like, "Hey Bryce, I signed you on the Tampa Bay Rays." He's like, "Oh,
No.
looks like I'm going there."
It's whoever Scott Boras picks up the phone and goes, "This is the best offer we're gonna get. Let's go." You know, it's just awful. That's the problem with baseball. Like, you know, they've given too much power to the players and the agents, and they need to knock that off. And it's hard to change it in that type of an atmosphere there. But you know the Cubs are out of it since they said keeping Russell is best for all parties. You know, because they would have to unload Russell in order to bring Harper.
Yeah, and Chris Bryant even said he does not believe that they are picking up Bryce Harper. But there were some rumors I did see today that possibly Rangers are in the mix for that too. Now we're getting the rumor train.
Again, Scott Boras is out there feeding stuff to his media buddies.
Getting the rumor train going
in order to try to get somebody to bid it out. Like, so now he's thinking like, oh, the Nationals are going to up their, or the White Sox are going to up their bid on Bryce Harper because I'm going to float out there that the Rangers are thinking. You know, oh my God.
I would love Bryce Harper. I would love Bryce Harper.
He's going to ruin your. It's like when A-Rod went there. It's going to
pay
ruin
the
your
effing
team.
man. Pay the effing man.
It's going to hurt your team for the next 30 years.
We got oil money. We're good.
Oh, you do.
We got oil money.
That's why you have no players right now.
We're all in arbitration right now. We're good. We're just one player. All we need is one player. I'll just need one player. Get him and Dallas Keuchel. We'll be good. Golden World Series, baby. 2019.
So, so why are we spending so much time on crappy baseball?
Well, I was getting ready to segue to draft talk.
That was my segue right there.
Okay, so draft talk. You ready?
Move along. Oh, so is Machado accepting this White Sox offer? Because it's the only team offering him anything right now.
No,
by the way,
not yet.
Like, nobody else is offering him anything. All you hear is, right, White Sox this, White Sox this from Machado. And nothing back. Like, silence. Like, crickets. Like, okay, so it's the only offer you got. Are you going to sign it?
He's like, man, I wish you guys were the Cubs. He's like, I don't want to go to Chicago. If I had to choose Chicago, I would choose the north side over the south side
I
any
would
day.
say Machado to the White Sox, actually. I was reading about that. I know last time, so we're not live feeding this tonight. All the White Sox fans were up my grill about me dogging them, but I actually think Machado to the White Sox makes a ton of sense and would be a good move for them.
He's got an old school White Sox player, South Sider, little dirty player too, It's got
exactly. Like blue collar, steel mill guy,
know. Stillman's been gay since '96.
Yeah, good Simpsons reference.
Good Simpsons reference.
But anyway, all right, so there we go. Yeah, and then once those two sign, like 800 other players have to sign, like in a 1 week period.
Dallas Keuchel still hasn't signed. Dallas Keuchel not signed.
He's not going to unless he takes a lowball deal because he has to wait for these two to go. Because you know what'll happen? Bryce will sign, Machado will sign, and then guys like Keuchel and other upper middle range guys.
They're going to take like 1 year deals, 2 year deals.
I know, but they're going to get more because the teams that don't get those two are going to be like, oh my God, get this guy, this guy's available.
Bryce Harper, Lynn, Dallas Keuchel, and the Rangers. Yeah, man, that makes total sense. We're going to World Series. All right, I'm excited for it. Can't wait for spring training, baby.
Sorry, I'm dying over
Can't wait for spring training. All right, so speaking of spring, you know what else happens in the springtime there, Steven?
The AFL or AAF football league starts this year.
That actually is like more winter time. It starts in February, right?
Is that winter?
Well,
we live in Arizona. We don't. It's that's pre-summer.
Pre-spring.
Pre-summer.
I don't know. But 24 days pitchers and catchers report, by the way. So not Arizona Cardinals, but Mel Kiper has came out with his first mock draft of the year. And the Arizona Cardinals, well, guess what? They are picking numero uno in that. Mel Kiper, of course, has Nick Bosa going number 1 to the Cardinals. How you feel?
I'm not a Bosa. I'm not a Bosa fan in San Diego. I don't get why everybody's up on his jock in San Diego's brother in San Diego. But I will say, all accounts are that this is the best Bosa of all of them. His dad, his brothers, everybody. You don't know, right? I mean, he's going to hold out because that's what Bosas do.
Gotta hold out.
So he's going to hold out.
Gotta get your money. Totally agree.
The guy gets a bad rap because he quote unquote quit on Ohio State this year, but I mean there was a good chance he wasn't going to come back at all this season anyway.
I mean, they lost to Purdue. I'd quit too. I mean, they weren't. Come on now,
dude. A core injury like that does not heal fast.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was a chance like maybe he could have come back for the bowl game. At that point, I agree. Shut it down and leave school or whatever to do whatever. But I'm just not a big Bosa family fan, just the way they operate everything and all that stuff. But I mean, Jason,
so you know the Bosa's coming to Arizona?
I have no idea if that's a good pick or not right now.
All right. Well, anyways, Mel Kiper, he did his mock draft. I just picked out a few names.
So the Raiders, did he have the Raiders actually picking a cornerback at 5 or 6?
Look, so I got all the picks here I pretty much did the top 5 picks plus the quarterbacks that he had and all the Raiders, since the Raiders have a lot. And then a guy who I like just because I like this guy, and I'll explain here in a little bit. But anyway, so we had Nick Bosa going 1. Second to the San Francisco 49ers was Josh Allen, offensive linebacker from Kentucky. The Bluegrass State getting some love there, number 2.
I actually like that pick a lot.
Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle, Alabama, going to the Jets at 3. Oakland Raiders, Greedy Williams, quarterback, LSU, going number 4. Another LSU cornerback going early. I don't know. I just don't know.
What do you mean? Name a bad one. What was the last bad one that went out early?
Yeah, the one that went to the Cowboys.
Oh, well,
I was not a fan of him.
But he was decent.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Peterson's been good. I mean, Matha was a later pick, but he was good. Generally, cornerbacks were out. How do you feel about a number 4 pick being a cornerback? Let's start with that.
I mean, if you need it, right?
No, they do. But is that their biggest weakness on defense?
I don't know. I mean, they got a lot of picks, so I mean,
that is true.
See, that's the thing, though. Like with the Raiders, whatever they're grading here, like if they say, hey, at 22 we can get the same type of player that these other teams are getting,
I think that's
then we can get that 22. Like we can wait to get whatever player.
I think that's the strategy.
And that's
the higher guy.
John Gruden. I think just with his time in the booth and everything, and all the the Gruden talk segments, like John Gruden knows what he's going to be doing in this NFL draft. Like this is going to be an NFL draft where we're like, oh my god, the Raiders are like, we're not going to say like, oh my god, they're going to win the Super Bowl next year, but we're going to be like, holy shit, like John Gruden just like snubbed the entire draft here. He just cleaned house. I feel like.
Okay, we'll see. But we have a mutual friend that's a big Raiders fan, Dean Mills. Shout out to Dean in Tulsa tonight. Probably,
saw him in Victory Lane.
Yeah, was he? He follows a Raiders thing, and I get to see the posts since he comments on them, so they come across my feed. And everybody was celebrating when that came out that they got a quarterback at 4. Everybody's like, we finally get our stop and go. And I'm like, really? Because they're celebrating a cornerback at 4? Like, you guys understand it's a cornerback, right?
Oh, we thought you said quarterback.
It's not a quarterback, right? Anyway, go ahead.
So number 5, I'll get into the rest of the Raiders picks in a little bit, but number 5, he had Jonah Williams, offensive tackle and guard from Alabama, going to the Buccaneers.
Who?
Jonah Williams. He's a guard.
That's too high for an offensive lineman.
So first quarterback he had was Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State, going number 6 to the New York Football Giants.
I'm sorry. Did you just say
New York Football Giants?
The first quarterback to go was who?
Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State. You know, the Ohio State.
Mel
Sorry.
Kiper
What,
needs
you
to
only
stop
throw the in
doing
there?
mock drafts. That's ridiculous.
This is 1.0. It could change later.
That shouldn't even be 0. That shouldn't even be on the -0.2. Oh my God, it's awful.
I mean, I didn't watch very many Dwayne Haskins games this year, but I mean, he looked studly in the Rose Bowl.
Well, he lost to Purdue.
Yeah, well, that was a reminder. That was the coach's fault. You know that. Anyways, his next quarterback to go was number 13, was Kyler Murray, who we talked about earlier on the show, from Oklahoma, of course. And then getting back to Miami, the Dolphins.
Oh, that'd be solid
Dolphins do
right
need a
there.
quarterback, yeah.
That'd be solid. Running game down to Miami. Holy, that would be solid right there.
That'd be good right there, man. Can you imagine Kyler Murray beating Tom Brady? Woo! Give me a
We'll talk about that later. If that ever is going to happen.
That ever
I'm
happens.
convinced that's never going to happen.
So rest of these Raiders picks, the Raiders do have 3 first-round picks. At 24, he had Marquise Brown, wide receiver, Oklahoma, going. That's the pick they got from Chicago, so he has him going number 24. And then 27 has Irv Smith Jr., tight end from Alabama, going at number 27. That's a pick they got from Dallas in the Cooper trade.
If I was John Gruden, I would just draft every Alabama player that's on the board when it's my turn to draft.
Well, that was what? LSU, Oklahoma, and Alabama.
I know. But that was an Oklahoma receiver?
Yes, Marquise Brown.
Yeah, that might be solid then, but...
And then a tight end first round. How do you feel about a tight end going first round?
If it's a tight end like a Gronk type tight end, absolutely. If it's whatever Ertz in Philadelphia type of tight end, no. He's got to be an all-around tight end. He can't.
Right.
He can't be, a mediocre passing guy and a good blocking guy. Like he's got to be a Gronk type player to go in the first round. I feel for a tight end. But if you need a tight end, you need a tight end.
So, other quarterback he had going was Daniel Jones.
Who?
Daniel Jones from Duke.
I know where
Duke.
he's from. Who?
Yeah, Daniel Jones. And he had him going number 29 to what he is projecting to be the New England Patriots spot.
Kiper's calling out shots on the Patriots, huh?
Yes, that's right. Mel Kiper is calling his shot on the Pats.
So, Mel Kiper has the Chiefs winning this weekend.
And he even put in there, Tom Brady's getting old. He did that old reference. And another one I want to throw in there, he had the Seattle Seahawks getting O'Shane. I'm going to butcher this name. Starts
Yes,
with
you
an
are.
X. O'Shane Ximes?
Let's just call him X.
O'Shane X.
call him
Defensive end, outside linebacker from Old Dominion. Only reason I want to bring that up, if he got drafted, it'd be the first player ever drafted from Old Dominion.
Well, he's going to get drafted.
And Old
It's just a
Dominion
matter
did
of-
win this year against, who'd they beat? Ole Miss?
No.
Florida State. No, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah. I was
Yeah.
going to say no. I mean, they beat a good team. A traditionally good team.
Beamer ball.
Yeah, he's going to get drafted. It's just a matter of where. Because I guess the kids is. I didn't watch very many Old Dominion games this year.
That's the only Old Dominion game I heard about all year.
The only thing I know about Old Dominion is a freaking hotel key. Some chick taking a hotel key and everything. And wow,
What?
is this thing on?
A hotel key?
The band Old Dominion.
Oh, well.
He took the hotel key.
I don't listen to Old Dominion. Are we going to an Old Dominion concert next week?
Well, we're going to a Midland concert, and Old Dominion's Old Dominion's the main. Midland's opening.
So when they say don't resell tickets, we're going to walk out and sell our tickets to some poor bastard.
We're Here,
man, $60.
People will be like, "You going to the Old Dominion concert?" We're going to Midland.
Yes, we're going to go see Midland. And we're going to drink beer while the first guy plays.
Well, Midland's the first band.
No, there's three.
Oh, yeah,
there's like, I got me four,
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, we're out of here. We're going to beat traffic. Let's put it that way. We're going to beat traffic for Old Dominion. Old Dominion, I love you. Free tickets, we'll take them. Send them our way.
Send them our way so we can go see Midland.
Show us we're wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
invite us to your show to prove us we're wrong. Oh, gosh.
I don't think they're listening. But
I'm trying.
I'm trying to make it all work out. But speaking of proving people wrong,
Are we done with mock draft crap?
yes,
or
we're
gonna
getting
do-
NFL playoffs.
Can we not talk about mock drafts again, ever?
We will talk about Mel Kiper's 2.0 when it comes out next week. And it's totally changed. when Daniel Jones is going number 1 to Arizona.
Yeah, the best part about the mock drafts is like literally nothing has changed. And like they're like, oh, here's my new mock draft. But
Well, that was his first mock
I know,
draft.
but like nobody's done. Yeah, because it's just based off of guys that declared. So
I like the mock draft. I don't know. Like, me right now, like, I don't have a pick in the draft. I'm a Cowboys fan. We don't have a pick in the first round. Like, I don't care about the draft this year at all. Like, for the first round, like, I'm like, whatever. But, like, if you have, like, a top 10 pick, like, you get excited about the draft because your team sucked so much last year.
well, Cardinals have a number 1 pick in the draft, Jason.
Because they sucked a lot last year.
I'm not really excited for this draft.
Well, we're going to be hearing a lot about it because we
I
live in
know.
Arizona. It's like the Suns this year. They had the first pick, and we heard a lot about it, and we got excited. I was
I
even
know.
getting excited for the Suns.
And it was like, it was literally, if they don't take Aiden, the world's going to end. Like, they're stupid.
And I was like, man, they should have took Luka.
Well, we could all look back at 20 games into the season and decide that fact, but Luka has a better coach. Luka has a better organization based around him than Aiden does. Dallas is, well, other than Smith Jr., causing all the drama and stuff in the Dallas locker room. There's a stable locker room there, whereas Phoenix, God, all we're hearing are stories about this guy arguing with this guy and nobody doing this.
I got more to say on that a little bit later. More to say on that Dallas.
Here we go.
stuff
Now
a
you're
little
going to
later.
hype up how Dallas is...
A little later.
It would be a mess if
A little later.
Luka wasn't there.
A
Because it would be even
little
worse.
later. I got some.
Well, if Dirk would hit a freaking
stuff.
basketball shot and not go 0 for 15 in Boston...
Later. He hit one, okay, and it was a glorious one. And the fans cheered. They rejoiced. Thank you, Boston, for knowing. True basketball town there. True sports town,
Why
Boston.
is Boston? I talked about this with you. Why is Boston excited for Dirk? Like,
Because they appreciate they appreciate game. Game recognized game. They appreciate it. Thank you, boss. They're a good sports town. They're a true sports town. There was nobody at Monster Jam tonight, by the way.
was it?
No. I saw Snapchats. There was nobody there.
So I was at PBR.
Arizona does not care about anything.
I was at PBR.
When are they going to care about something?
PBR was pretty packed. There were empty seats, but the worst part about the setup was the $130 seats. There's a lot of empty $130 seats, but all like the other seats were full. People didn't want to sit close, apparently. But yeah, no, driving in, there was more traffic getting to parking for PBR because they actually separated them.
Oh, did they actually
Yeah.
separate it?
So like, if you were going to Monster Jam, you couldn't go to Westgate. You had to park over by the stadium. But yeah, it wasn't very crowded.
Lame.
It wasn't very crowded
Yeah.
at 6:30 pulling into the stadium. So yeah.
Care about something, Arizona.
Well, we talked about that. Monster Jam splits up all their guys, so you don't even get their best drivers.
You had
here.
Gravedigger tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one.
The track looked weak, though. I don't know.
Is Gravedigger still a thing?
Yeah, Gravedigger's the thing.
thought
It's not
Bigfoot
Dennis
was the
Anderson anymore. No, Bigfoot isn't Monster Jam. He's like something else.
Is he the? Oh my God. Is he the Hot Wheels one?
I mean, he kind of was. Yeah, at one point in life. I don't know.
I just had to bring up that Hot Wheels one again because it looks so cool.
So, you ready for some football talk? Since I just went on my tangent. Ooh, Phoenix Open. Did you see they put the balls in the...
I did.
They put the balls in the W&M this week?
I actually watched the whole video of them doing
Oh,
that.
God, me too.
For like 20 minutes. I was just fascinated by this machine.
I was so... It wasn't even a machine.
No,
It was
yeah, yeah.
guys pouring balls down a ramp
Yeah.
that they built.
And a guy with the
It's-
broom to make sure they went down flat when they got to the bottom.
Oh my God, it was the best thing ever, right?
But the best part is on the M, did you notice like there's a little gap in the bottom at the M? Oh, and I was like, how the hell they fix that when the M's already full? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Is it going to be like that? Remember, what was that game when you were a kid and you had to like fix something down at the bottom and you like moved one thing? Like the whole thing collapsed down? Could you imagine 130 balls falling in the
Just
bottom of that
falling.
water?
Oh my God, that would suck. I want to know how they get the balls out, actually. Like, that is...
That probably goes flat, right? At some point. Yeah, you know what?
Because
I want to
the
know how it
balls-
gets out more than than
The
getting
balls are all reusable. They're like they're just
They're
like
re-
refurbished golf balls.
Yeah, they find them in the bottom of lakes
so
and
like
stuff and clean them.
after they open, are these guys just like taking the balls and chucking them up the hill? Like, how do you? I mean, that's a big hill to go up.
No, it's in the middle of water, Jason.
Yeah, but you see the guys that were down there like at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you get that thing back up to like the grass or whatever.
The W and the M
back
move.
to the hill.
They go flat.
Yeah, I know.
Stuff.
Like
they
they
pick it up and move it out and then do something with them.
I have no idea how they get
basically did you like that too? The emphasis was that they're used balls, like they were we're not wasting them. These are all reconditioned balls.
Well, it is the greenest show on earth.
Oh, you know, I didn't even think about that.
There you go.
Everything's reconditioned then. But yeah, so what was it? 3 guys, one guy with a broom, and 2 guys.
No, there was 2 guys. There was 2 guys downstairs with the brooms. There were 2 guys upstairs dumping the balls until one of the guys started talking to another dude. Then it was just let his Mexican guy work, pretty much. He was like, "Hey, here, you pick up those balls and dump them."
It was literally like, what was that game in a Klinko? Where you just
Klinko.
let balls go down the ramp and they just go down and the broom stops them and makes sure they're flat or whatever.
The price was right.
Yeah, so that was my.
No, that was a good Friday.
Yeah,
I'll
I was under the weather and I'm starting to feel better, but on Friday I slept a lot, and 20 minutes of my probably 3 hours of being awake on Friday was me watching that video.
And I have no excuse. I just love the Waste Management Open and everything about it. I just get excited. Jordan Spieth's going to be here again.
I haven't seen his.
So we got to go on like Thursday to go see Jordan Spieth play.
Well,
because he ain't making the cut.
Yeah, right. Well, I always like to go Thursday and Friday, and then if I go on the weekend, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
You will not catch me there, dead or alive, on Saturday. Where's the Super Bowl this year? Atlanta?
Hot Atlanta.
Yeah, so we won't. Yeah. Sunday will be weak. We all get quiet. When is that?
2 weeks.
Do you like how we?
2 weeks from today.
Does everybody like how we do our planning right now?
Yeah, we're
having
our planning meeting. So if you want to come to the Phoenix Open with Jason and Steve, the Main Event Podcast, by all means, let us know.
Yeah,
we'll get you out there. We'll shoot you some GA tickets. All right, we'll shoot you GA tickets. We're going to be looking at some members club, Skybox. You know, who knows? I was talking to somebody this week, and they were like, "I'm going to the Phoenix Open first time this year." I was like, you did like a suite, you know, or whatever, getting some good seats. Like, I think we're just going to do GA. I was like, that's a lot of walking. Like,
isn't that funny how like this is how spoiled we are. Like when people say they go in the Open, we're like, what hole you in the suites on? You know, what kind of passes you got? And people are like, general admission. You're like, okay. I'm going to declare this right here that I do not go to the Open unless I have some sort of suite passes or whatever. I will never, ever do GA. Ever in my life.
I was looking.
Ever in my life.
No, you look at like StubHub. GA is like $20. What we had last year, the Members Club, where you get like the 4 tents and free booze and buffet. Only $50 more. And it's worth the $50 because you get the free booze and the buffet.
And the food, which isn't bad.
No, solid lasagna.
It wasn't lasagna.
It was noodles or whatever.
Yeah, it was noodles.
It was like pasta
sauce or whatever. Then those sandwiches were pretty. I'm not a sandwich guy. That was a pretty good dang good sandwich.
That was a sandwich.
And then don't get me started on the cookies.
I hope they cut down that tree though. Gosh, that tree was pretty annoying.
Story for another day.
Really killed my enjoyment.
Yeah, I know, but that's. So I had a friend one time, as we regress into golf talk now. So Spieth is going, huh?
Yeah, I heard a commercial.
Isn't his hernia? Is his hernia fixed so he didn't have that excuse this year?
I don't know. What is?
So one time I had a guy I worked with, Tony. Hey, shout out to Tony.
Hey, Tony.
He lives in St. Louis now.
St. Louis.
But he was in town.
Boring city, St. Louis.
He was in town, and well, he's from there, so whatever. He likes it. So he wanted to go walk around and see all these golfers because like he's like a golf nut, you know, so he knows like all the golfers or whatever. So yeah, that'd be fun. I've actually never walked this course, you know. Like I go right to my suite, I sit down, and I don't move, you know. So I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do it, man. About 3 holes into the walk, I was like, what the f we doing here, guys? This is ridiculous.
Oh no, you're right. It's terrible. Ooh, look what I found. You know how you're giving me
Uh-oh.
You were giving me crap.
We're not swearing tonight?
I don't know why I just cut that.
Jason's 2019, folks. Jason's cleaning up his act.
You were giving me crap.
Uh-oh. I'll give you crap about everything, so you gotta be more specific.
About how you didn't want to go to the Pro-Am. And I'm like, dude, people show up to the Pro-Am at the Phoenix Open. Michael Phelps, Patrick Peterson, Archie Bradley, Justin Verlander even making an appearance.
Who's Justin Verlander?
Justin effing Verlander?
Oh, Verlander. I thought you said Furlander. I'm all, who's Furlander? Well, you just want to see Furlander because you want to see if his wife's going to be here.
Even if I did say Verlander, you can pick up Verlander, right? Also,
Wait, whoa.
whoa.
Oh, Verlander's Houston spring training's in Florida.
Yeah, well, he's making.
He's coming here first?
Yeah, he's gonna. I'm going to play golf before we go to spring training. He's got a week to report after that.
He private jets it to spring training too. I see videos every year, like he posts videos or whatever. He's always in a private jet with his Great Dane or whatever.
Dirty dog.
He's such a stud.
Bruce Arians also planning to make an appearance.
Yeah, no, they always do that because he does that for his charity though.
Yeah, but he's no longer here. I was listening to the radio the other day. They had an ad play with BA, and I was like, take that off the airways right now. That son of a bitch.
Somebody interviewed him the other day. One of the local guys interviewed him the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't hear. I was.
But also Greg Maddux, Jake Owen. How come you're not playing at the freaking Crow's Nest that night? And Emmitt Smith are also scheduled to appear.
Most of those guys play every year.
Well, I'm just saying, you got big names that come and play here.
I didn't say big names didn't come and play. So we go watch guys play crappy golf and walk the course. Like, oh wow, that sounds awesome.
All right, if Charles Barkley comes, can we go?
Well, that would be actually fun because he would make jokes.
Yeah, and I just want to see the swing in person.
So the story on the Pro-Am is I had a friend that was like, dude, we got to go Pro-Am. Like 10 years ago or whatever. And who's that actor guy that everybody thinks is hilarious? Bill Murray.
Vince Vaughn?
No,
Bill Murray. Yeah, he's a good...
It's like, he like gets in the sand and throws sand on himself and cracks the same jokes on every hole. So I'm like, dude, let's go, whatever. None of them can play golf. They're all just god-awful horrible. Most of them don't talk and joke around. Most of them, are taking this seriously as they're playing, and all that stuff. It was the worst experience ever. It was just horrible. If I want to watch bad golf, Jason, I take you out on the course. Oh, ba-da-ba, ding.
Ouch. The only Pro-Am I went to was the BMW Classic Pro-Am, where Wayne Gretzky was the only, famous guy that played, and then everybody else just, bought around with Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas.
Yeah. Most Pro-Ams don't get the guy. We get the celebrities here for a Pro-Am. The only one I would want to go to, and it's not even, it's a Pro-Am, is that one in Lake Tahoe where they get, John Elway.
But that's the tournament though, all week long. That's the tourney, Justin Timberlake plays. Yeah. Oh my god, if JT came here and played.
That would be the only, I know, but it's still the tournament, but it's still a Pro-Am. Right? Well, but
to be determined if JT comes and Charles Barkley. I'll tweet him.
I'm just saying, it's bad golf.
All right, so maybe that ad was outdated. Looking at the official Waste Management Phoenix Open website, 20 of the top 50 golfers have already committed.
A lot of guys commit late.
Jordan Spieth is not one. I figured Spieth would be an early commitment, though.
So did I, actually.
But Justin Thomas did.
Then Phil's going to be here, of course.
Commit already.
All the local guys I heard already committed.
I haven't seen Justin Thomas play a tourney yet.
The thing about this tournament is a lot of guys do commit late, at the deadline. It's the second big tournament, but it's right before Torrey Pines, right? Or San Diego one.
Something's next week, and that's where Tiger's kicking off his season.
Yeah, Tiger always kicks off there, and then it's either his tournament or something, and then they come here, and then they go someplace big again.
And they're also, while they're here, usually Rory's playing over. They have Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's where Tiger went all those years because they gave him $1 million show up bonus. Right. So he made $1 million just to show up to Dubai and play the Dubai Open.
Show up.
So a lot of the big European guys will go over there. Plus, a lot of the big guys just don't like coming here. It's too rowdy for them. They don't like
they're
the hecklers. They don't like
Bubba Watson hates coming here, but he has to come here because Oakley's like, no, you're going. Because Oakley's like, hey, guess what? We sponsored the 16th hole. You're going to the effing Open. And Bubba Watson's literally said,
and they're like, quit flipping people off, Bubba.
Remember, what was it, 4 years ago when Bubba said, I do not like coming. I wouldn't come here if it wasn't for my sponsors. Yeah. And he got booed every time he stepped
Here's what happens to the Phoenix Open. Every young golfer loves to come here and play. loves it. And then they win a major. And then they're like, F that place. That's what happens. And it happened with Bubba when he won the Masters in that spectacular fashion. Then all of a sudden he's like, I hate Phoenix.
I remember the
Phoenix.
first year after he won the Masters.
That's when he started.
And he came and he had
missed the cut, didn't he?
No, he effed up 16.
No,
He was leading, and the
That's
fans were doing
that's
this like huge chant. They're like, ba, and it was like getting hyped. And then he effed up 16, and they just booed his ass, because if you don't hit the
which
green,
is what they do.
You get booed if you don't hit the green. You gotta hit the green. It's par 3. You hit the green.
You get yelled safety if you don't put anywhere near the pin and you play it safe, So, I remember that.
The best thing.
But that was after the match. Like, something when you win a major in golf, you have to become a pretentious asshole.
Right.
And not do, The thing about it, and that's just the issue, is, you know the I know the secret of 16, and I don't even play golf there, right? Is you hit your ball, good or bad, you break out all these free crap out of your bag and you throw it in the crowd, and everybody loves you.
And that's what was great.
Then
like,
you run off.
It was on the Sunday. I went on the Sunday, and the first guy that went through, oh man, it was so sad. The first guy that went through, he just could not. His ball hit off I think it was the left of the green, and it rolled down that little like hill that kind of went to the hallway.
On the side, on the left, right?
Yeah, and fans were just boo, like, oh man. I was like, oh, I feel so bad for this guy because that just went to like no man's land. So he has to like call a guy over. He's like, do I have to play this right? So he's just getting more boos.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, poor dude. Like,
Because it takes forever to get the
you're the
official
first
over.
guy to come to the hole, and this is how they're treating you because they've been waiting for 3 hours, and here it is.
The big guys have rules guys that go with them, and he's because he's first, he's got no rules.
And
Like
he's
the
trying to
rules
get
guys
like a dude.
8 holes
He's like,
over.
how do I play this? So he chips it up. It literally hits and rolls back down. Some more booze is like, oh my god, this poor bastard.
And they rain down on you, man.
And then when Bubba came through, he got the booze when they introduced him all weekend. And then he threw out some T-shirts like, "Hey, we love you, Bubba. Hey, man, no hard feelings."
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the secret. You don't be a Davis Love or not Davis Love. God, that guy that won a major and then became a bigger jerk than he already was, where you flip everybody off because they're boo you because you missed the green. Like you don't react that way. You have fun with it.
It's like, these guys are booing me. Yeah, it's not that important, bro.
Even Phil gets booed if he misses the green there. So.
All right, so for the last 15 minutes, I've been trying to talk about football. Can we get into football? We'll get into more Phoenix Open talk. 2 weeks, because that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a Phoenix Open / Super Bowl show because those are the two things going on. Sound good?
Sorry, everybody. Let's talk. Like, there's anything good going on in football this weekend, Jason?
Well, it is championship weekend.
You wanted to talk mock draft. Could there be anything? Is there anything worse?
I didn't go full up detail on the mock draft. I didn't break it down why Nick Bosa's getting drafted number 1.
As I get my old cough there. Oh my god! All right.
So Rams at Saints gonna kick it off tomorrow, 1:00 here Arizona time. So far, Saints favored 3.5 points over under 57. Tickets low as $322. Get you some of that.
Yeah, I'm on my way. New Orleans, save me a spot. So what are your keys to victory here, Jason?
Well, for the Rams, man, you got to get more creative on offense. Last week, it worked out great. Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson, they beat up that Cowboys defense, but you can't expect the same out of C.J. Anderson this week, can you? I don't think you can.
He's been doing it every game since he signed with them.
Well, he ain't going to have the week he had last week against the Saints. 2, if C.J. Anderson doesn't work out, don't be afraid to get away from him. Just be like, hey, C.J., grab some pine, bro. Thanks for getting us here, but Todd Gurley can take it over from here. And also, you got to contain Thomas. Last week, that guy went 12 for 171 and a touchdown, and Thomas burned him up at the end of that game they played in the regular season. So you got to figure out a way to contain Thomas.
Hey, I don't know. I struggle with this because I don't know which team's going to show up. Is the non innovative Rams going to show up, like you said, where they don't do anything, but this C.J. Anderson, Todd Gurley combination is working right now, where CJ gets the ball, runs it down between tackles, and then Gurley goes in there and goes on the outside. So on that stuff, my keys to victory are just Rams have to be able to keep pace with the Saints if it's a high-scoring game. They need to be able to stop the Saints if it's keep it from becoming a high-scoring game. And the Rams defense is the key to this game. They need to stop the Saints offense and not let them wake up this week because they're still sleeping even last week.
Still sleeping. That is correct. For the Saints, you got to stop Todd Gurley because I do not think C.J. Anderson's going to have what C.J. Anderson did last week. I just don't. I just something about me says I don't feel it.
You know who else thought that? The
Cowboys. But you got to stop Gurley.
That's why they let him run the ball, Jason, so
Actually,
well.
they never. I was listening to all the Dallas shows last week. Not once was C.J. Anderson even brought up. Like, C.J. who?
That's my point. Is everybody overlooks him and goes, he ain't gonna do anything.
He ain't gonna do that
He
again.
ain't gonna do nothing. Don't worry about C.J. Anderson.
He did it once on the big stage.
We need to stop Todd Gurley. That's all we got to worry about is Gurley.
He ain't doing it again. He ain't doing it again.
Next thing you do, you in the second quarter, you're looking up and C.J. Anderson has 3 touchdowns and 250 yards in the second quarter.
You got to use Taysom Hill in the right situations too.
Oh my God, you're going deep.
I'm going
with that
Taysom
one.
Hill reference. That's right.
Wait, are you sure he's not on injury reserve?
He's not on injury. He's not on injury reserve. Taysom Hill. He's a player. He's going to play. Got to use the right situations. Don't get too crazy with it. I know. I mean, Sean Payton's going to want to get crazy with us here because it's the NFC Championship game. You're facing a high-profile offense, and, you know, it's just going to be one of those games where it's like, all right, we can do this, we can do that. Just use him in the right situations. Don't let him F up something because you don't want people to hate Taysom Hill, right? Can't have that. Can't have people hate Taysom Hill. And number 3, you got to protect the ball. Drew Brees last week did have 2 fumbles, did recover them both. He also threw an interception. Drew Brees did not look very Drew Breesy, and he kind of has been that way the last month and a half.
The interception was the first play of the game.
Well, still.
So
It all counts.
So, breaking this down, I have to do a little bit of a backstory to get to my point on
You
this.
did video research.
I actually did. I'm not going to lie to you. I did. So, you know the fake punt that the Saints ran last week against the Eagles? They actually saw on film that when the Eagles left their regular defense in to prevent a fake punt, that Fletcher Cox did not took the play off. So the ball was snapped and he would stand directly up. And they noticed it in the previous 2 or 3 games or whatever. And I saw the video evidence of it on there. So the Saints identified that if there comes a time where they run a fake, they need to run it at Fletcher Cox. And God damn it, they got it and they did it. And that's what turned their game around last week. This is why the Saints, it has nothing to do with any player on the field. It has to do with Sean McVay and Sean Payton are going against each other today. And who's the up-and-coming coach who's the stud? McVay. Who's the old Riley veteran that makes plays like that with fake punts against Fletcher Cox and nobody else in the league saw? Sean Payton. Sean Payton is going to show up McVay this weekend and make play calls and plays like that everybody's going to look at film on Monday and go, wow, Sean Payton is the freaking man. That's what's going to happen. We don't need any more things. Sean Payton is going to just do these magical things that Sean Payton does, and they're going to end up going there and they're just going to beat him.
Okay,
Done.
for Sean Payton to become the Dallas Cowboys' next head coach.
Done.
So your pick for this game?
With that, I'm going to go with the Rams. Just kidding. Saints are not losing at home. I think it's actually going to be a really close game. I think it's actually going to be a lower scoring game than you think it's going to be. But I think the Saints, with their experience in there, and like I said, just that Sean Payton, he's got stuff in his playbook that he has seen on film this week, and his coaches have seen on film, and they're going to have some weird thing that we're all onside kick in the Super Bowl. Anybody?
What up with that?
We're going to see something weird like that happen, and that's what's going to propel the Saints to victory. And this game, the Rams have another season of grooming to get to that point, but I think the Saints, especially being at home, are going to squeak this one out. I think it's going to be lower scoring. It's not going to be as low as, 9-6 or whatever, but it's not going to be as high scoring. Even the over-under is like 57 or 53 or something, isn't it? But I think the Saints are easily running away with it. Not running away with it, but the Saints are easily winning this, but it's going to be a hard-fought battle, and then the Saints are just going to do something weird and just break the soul of the Rams. You? Rams, obviously.
I'm going Rams, man. Sean McVay, they beat the Cowboys. They showed us up. I went to a Rams game earlier this year. Whose house? Rams' house. Who dat say gonna beat them Saints? Wade effing Phillips owns Drew Brees.
Oh my God.
Owns Drew Brees.
The Rams defense hasn't owned anybody the last
But
couple
Wade
weeks.
Phillips owns Drew Brees.
Okay.
Darnold, they are going to own Drew Brees. Sue, doesn't matter. I slurred. Own Drew Brees.
I will say, Ben Watson being out for the Saints does worry me a little bit because he's a big...
last home game that he's ever going to play into. Came in. They rolled him out. That's
Watson?
Yeah.
He's going to have to... They're trying to figure out if he needs surgery or
Well,
not.
he's retiring. So
I know, but they can't figure out his last home game. Don't worry about it, Jason. He's got a Super Bowl he can play in.
well, it's not his home game.
It's in Mercedes-Dome Stadium in Atlanta. It's pretty much
It's a different Mercedes. It's a different Mercedes.
Oh, one's Mercedes-Dome and one's one something.
Mercedes-Benz.
The other Rams, what kind of score are you thinking?
I'm going to go... I'll take 25-22. That's a weird score. But I like it. 25-22.
I also think that this is the game. Like we talked last week about how the Rams need to show that the year before wasn't a fluke. And they did that at home. But I think this game is just going to envelope these young guys.
Gotta do it on the road. Gotta do it on the road.
It's loud in there. You know, that's one thing. The Eagles, Jason, the Eagles went into New Orleans and had a chance to win the game. They were in the game. They were up by 14.
That's why I'm taking the Rams, because the Saints ain't as good as people
But
think
what
they
happened?
are.
Did you forget what happened? Are the Eagles playing this weekend?
Yeah, well, the Eagles kind of limped into the playoffs, regardless. So,
Oh,
I mean,
my
the
God.
Rams are a lot better team than the Eagles.
Dude,
the Rams
game.
are, even with the big dick Nick Magic, Rams are a lot better team.
Are they?
They are.
Okay.
They are. Okay. Patriots at Chiefs.
I like how we end it. Okay.
Gonna close out the Sunday NFC Championship Sunday matchups. KC at home, 3-point faves, over under 56.5. Get tickets, low as $210. Has gone down $15 since yesterday.
And that over-under's really dropped, too.
Did it drop? Was it higher?
I think it was 59.
Kind of.
But it went, I think
it's lower than the.
But I think
first game.
because I think it went back up. It's because of the weather. But it's not.
It's not going to be a snowball anymore.
Yeah,
the
well-
weather report was wrong. They're looking at 23 degrees.
I know because they were saying -5 like Monday or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
we're looking
that.
at 23 degrees. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah. So
Guns out, guns out.
let's start with the Patriots on this one. How are the Patriots gonna upset this first game? The Patriots have been an underdog in since 2014, Jason. That's been the mantra all day, all week on ESPN. How are the Patriots gonna upset the Kansas City Chiefs and go back to the Super Bowl?
Well, one thing Bill Belichick needs to do is he needs to not get away from Sonny Michael in the run. Because Bill Belichick, he's been known to use a guy for one game. Bill Belichick.
Who?
Bill Belichick.
Sony Michelle.
Oh, what'd I say, Michael? Oh, I wrote that wrong. Sony Michelle. Sony Michelle.
Oh my God, Stephen A. sitting next to me.
Sorry.
got
You know what? It's
Stephen A.
been a
Smith
long
over
day. Stephen A. Smith talked about. I can't. You know what? Can we get on a Stephen A. Smith tangent real
I've
quick?
been egging you on. I've said it 3 times.
So, Stephen A. Smith was somehow that motherfucker weaseled his way into the UFC coverage of ESPN because you knew he would, right?
I pointed that out to you tonight.
And the guy knows not a goddamn thing about anything related to Ultimate Fighting. Like, get Stephen A. Smith off my screen, ESPN.
He doesn't know anything about football either. But
I
he's
get
in
you're
there
paying the guy,
football.
but get him off my damn screen.
He's the face of ESPN. And
God, he is. And it's annoying.
And the guy didn't know that. The guy didn't know that. What's his name? Hill got cut in Kansas City. He names it. Isn't that my favorite part of it? Real quick, is that like he doesn't apologize and go look, because I understand like slip of the tongue, whatever. But I can understand but he doesn't even say that. He basically doubles down and he's like,
I must have when I wasn't looking. He's like still talking about Kareem Hunt being the running back. So, Sonny Michelle last week went 24, 129. I got the stats right. 24 carries for 129 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. Bill Belichick has been known to totally abandon everything about what is good in life. Don't abandon that. Keep using that motherfucker. Don't let Mahomes out of the pocket. When Mahomes got out of the pocket, he does some crazy crap. And also, you got to continue that Andy Reid dominance, man. He owns Andy effing Reid. So continue it this week.
How many times have they played?
A lot.
I know we beat him in the Super Bowl when Reed was with the Eagles, but other than that,
They've played 8 times. Andy Reid has 2 wins.
it's a lot. So he's 2-6.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh yeah, because they beat him earlier this year too, didn't they? Last second field goal, right? With time running out.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Patriots get lucky in that game to win that though?
It was a questionable call. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Or 3 or 4.
Hey.
They're pretty evenly matched teams. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it was a good game preseason, or regular season.
So basically, the Patriots' key to upsetting this game is basically the bottom line is they can't. That's it. Reason
You
one.
don't think they can?
The Patriots can't.
You don't think
No,
they can?
I'm being completely sarcastic, Jason. Every time the Patriots are counted out, they freaking win the game by 400. Why? Why are we even having this discussion on who's going to win this game? Patriots suck. Patriots can't score anything. Then they go out there and they score 800 points and win the game. Tom Brady's washed up. Let's put a growl on him. Bill Belichick can't find anything. They have no playmakers on their team. It's the same crap every freaking week with the Patriots, and every freaking week they win by 30 points. Like, why are we even discussing this game right now? The Patriots are winning by 40.
So for Kansas City, I think, they got to mix it up a little bit with Damian Williams and Tyreek Hill. Williams did play pretty good last week. I was kind of shocked by that. And then you got Tyreek Hill in there as well. Got to get a touchdown through the air, though, man. No touchdowns through the air last week from Patrick Mahomes. So get a touchdown through the air. It's going to be cold, but you can still pass the ball. It's going to be sunny tomorrow, so it'll be all fine. And Andy Reid, he needs to just put his best coaching performance ever. Like I said, 2-6 against Big Bill. Put together your greatest coaching performance ever against the Patriots.
Okay, on a serious note, Patriots have to be able to, like you said, run the ball. It's going to be cold. Keep the ball out of Tom Brady's hands because the Kansas City Chiefs secondary will make you make mistakes and even though they have a bad defense, they will make you make mistakes trying to pass the ball off to your guys in that dig and dunk offense because they, believe it or not, scrimmage against it all the time in their own team. For the Chiefs, in order to win this game, run short passing game because of the cold weather and just get the score. The Patriots will not be able to keep scoring with you. Last week, the Chargers just folded. Again, you have that Kansas City's young. Are they ready for the moment? Experience of the Patriots going on that side. That's what's going to come down to. 2 evenly matched teams, cold weather. It's going to come down to experience. And the question is who's got the most experience? However, Patrick Mahomes never gets rattled.
Never
But
does. He has me.
either does Phillip
He has
Rivers.
me eating so much effing crow right now.
But either does Phillip Rivers.
Remember
And what happened last
preseason?
week?
We're gonna pull some cuts. I gotta go back. I gotta go back through the preseason NFL over the next 2 weeks and get.
I remember distinctly saying that, remember last year in training camp, Patrick Mahomes couldn't throw a ball and take a snap out of under center, and Alex Smith, was in trouble, and the guy couldn't do anything. This year, all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes the man. What kind of world are we living in?
We're gonna find some cuts.
I remember saying that. So, who do you got?
I was gonna ask you.
Well,
You went first last time.
I'm going to do what I always do, Jason. I don't know why.
Pick the sure thing.
Because the Patriots are going to win this game by 30. It's not going to. They're going to be up by 14. They're going to be up by 14 and a half a minute into the game because that's what the Patriots always do when you bury them. But Chiefs are going to win this game, and the Chiefs are going to win this game big by 14. It's not going to be close. All the talk is going to be going into. And after the Chiefs win it by 14, all the talk's going to be about how the Patriots didn't show up. All the excuses on the Patriots. Is it time to bury the Patriots? You won't even talk about the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl because it's going to be all about the Patriots.
Well, you get about a 3-day grace period to talk bad about the Patriots, and you get in the Super Bowl talk.
I know.
Interesting stat, Steven. Interesting stat. Bill Belichick has coached 342 career games in his career. 342 career games. That's what he's coached. NFL head coach. A lot of games.
You like all the noise I'm making here? Can everybody hear my noise?
Yes, we can all hear your noise.
So that's how much I care.
He has only given up 40 or more points 7 times in his career of the 342 games coach. I don't know percentage-wise, but that's less than a lot. Less than a little percent. 3 of those games, though, were against the Chiefs under Andy Reid. 2014, 2017, and this season, 2018. The Kansas City Chiefs win this game. They do not lose this game. This is the game they win. You know why? Because I've been begging for it. I've been begging for it.
The
You know,
whole
the whole
world's
world's been
been begging for it.
begging for it. What do we want to see since week 10 of the NFL season on Monday Night Football? We want Chiefs. We want Rams. We want to see if they can duplicate what they had on Monday Night Football. Chances are they can't. But hey, we want to effing see it, and we want to hype up that one game so effing much. And we want to talk about, hey, remember that one game you played back in LA? And then we were like, oh my God, that was a great game.
It's going to be a huge letdown. You don't think Saints Chiefs is going to be a freaking awesome Super Bowl?
But maybe it lives to the hype.
None of that. Saints Chiefs indoors? Indoors!
Maybe it lives up to
indoors, Mr. Carter.
the hype.
Saints
Duke and
Chiefs,
Virginia lived up
Super
to
Bowl
the hype today.
indoors.
Give me Chiefs, give me Rams. Out with the old, in with the new. Let's go. I don't know why I went black guy voice.
I mean, like, Chiefs. I don't see any way. I might have said this last week with the Chargers. I didn't. The Chargers were the better team going into that game, and then they just decided not to. Patriots just manhandled them.
It was cold.
But I literally looking at it can see no way the Chiefs are losing this game. If you can bring up all the stats you want about Belichick, it doesn't matter. Chiefs are the all-around team. They're the consistent all-around team. The Patriots are going to be kind of high on themselves after last week because that was just an anomaly. The cold weather, whatever it was, that the Chargers didn't show up and didn't play well, isn't going to happen this week in Kansas City because guess what? Kansas City's a cold weather. And everybody's like, oh, it's two cold weather teams. Cold weather in Kansas City is different than cold weather in Boston, people. It's a big difference between the two.
So one last thing. Not on the playoffs, just one last thing on the show in general. You got anything?
Well, I've got a lot to say, Jason, but you go ahead. I really don't.
Scott Linehan out as offensive coordinator of the Cowboys.
You haven't mentioned that. I was waiting for you to mention that. And so the best part of that story is, so they want to hire a guy, right? The Cowboys want to talk to another offensive coordinator. I don't remember who it is because it doesn't matter. But they're all excited to talk to him, so they send out the permission to talk to the guy. And the league has to tell the Cowboys that you're not allowed to talk to him, jackasses, because he's still playing. He's still coaching.
Well, did the name come out?
They did. It was an offensive...
Well, they want to talk to Josh McDaniels?
No. God, I can't remember who it was. But the league, they float the name out there, they ask for permission, and the league has to go, excuse me, Mr. Jones, as you know, I imagine the letter's like, as you know, we have a policy that you are unable to contact coaches in the coaching window. Now, they can contact them Sunday, because if they win, if they lose, they can contact them Monday, whatever. But if they win, they can there's a window they can contact them before the Super Bowl. But yeah, I saw it was like an offensive
Where'd you see that
coordinator.
at?
I don't remember.
Because I haven't seen anything about that yet.
Oh well, I'm more in with the Cowboys than you.
Well, I've been listening hardcore. I've been all about it. Kellen Moore though is staying on as quarterback coach.
Well, I saw it on Twitter, so it must have been real, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Was it one of your fake accounts?
Yeah, right.
Did that one guy get you again? Who's that one dude? He got you.
Got me again.
I've just been looking at the candidates. I can't tell you right now, for you Cowboy fans out there, it's not going to be Tony Romo. So don't get your hopes up.
I want to say it was like a Chiefs. I want to say it was like a guy at the Chiefs. I don't remember the name.
That's the first I've heard of that. Even looking up on Google, there's nothing saying anything about it.
It was literally, I saw it on Twitter. But I literally saw that the NFL had to remind the Cowboys that they're not allowed to contact coaches still in the playoffs. Maybe they didn't give it. I thought they gave it. I want to say it was the Chiefs, but it was somebody for the open offensive coordinator job. It's like they sent that note out like before they fired Linehan. So, like, why'd they fire him for?
He bogged down the red zone too much. Like, it got stale. It got stale. It was literally run first, pass second, try to run again on third and short.
You know what I'm going to say right now, don't you?
It got stale.
Okay. You have an offensive head coach. He could have taken over play calling at
He
any
could have.
time,
He could have.
but he didn't.
He could have.
So doesn't that instinctively say, hey, my offensive coordinator's doing a good job? I don't need to take it over. You know who doesn't let guys take over stuff? Sean Payton, McVay. He'll take over play calling in a second if he has to. Did you see... yeah, I'm not even going to search for that tweet. But no, I saw it. Maybe they didn't say the name, but I want to say it was a Chiefs guy. The more I think about it. But they did send a request out, according to the things I saw. Maybe it was Ed that said that, not Edward or the other guy, Ed Helmley or whatever his name is. But they sent a request out to talk to him, and they were like told like, you're not allowed to do that until after the deal here. So it's pretty funny. It's like, oops. But yeah, so. But you think a new offensive coordinators are going to change all that stuff because everything else is the same? That's what I don't get. Changing an off, as the Cardinals found out this year, changing an offensive coordinator doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Speaking of changing offensive coordinators for the Cardinals, Hugh Jackson got an interview.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that some Rooney Rule stuff going on, or what? Like, is there interest here?
I think when you're hiring a position like that, especially when your head coach is an offensive supposed genius, right? You want to get the right match in there. So I think you want to talk to enough people. I think, to be honest with you, all you're looking for in an offensive coordinator, if you're the Cardinals, is somebody to basically teach him how to be a head coach and not get in his way. And Lord knows, Hugh Jackson is the mildest man on the planet and doesn't do anything. So he'll probably just sit there like a stump on a log. And oh my God, if they hire Hugh Jackson, I'm just going to scream.
He'll let Coach Bro do his thing.
Nah, it's just awful. I know, I saw that too. But I think if I was hiring... if I was out there and hiring, an offensive coordinator, and you have time, maybe they want to talk to one of these playoff guys, so they have time. I would talk to as many people as possible because you want to see what they think about your team.
Yeah.
Because you don't just walk into an interview and be like, "Oh, hey guys, what do you guys want to do?" You actually come in with a plan and what you see on your team, so you get feedback from the way your team works. How your team is viewed, I guess. Over by the other league and whatnot. So I just don't get to fire Scott Linehan now.
It was a weird timeline.
Yeah.
Because after it happened, I mean, the game was last Saturday. You usually hear about next day, hey, we're done with you. But they came out, Jason Garrett said on Monday he was interviewed, he said, I don't expect any changes. Jerry Jones wasn't quite sure about changes. And then Linehan came out with his tweet, his statement or whatever. He had to make a statement after he get fired. And said, I met with Coach Garrett on Wednesday. We had lunch, we talked, and we decided it'd be best if we just, split ways. So... It was a weird, and then Friday the announcement came out.
But that tells you that they have a guy in mind if you're going to make that move like they did. I don't know. So the tweet said that I just saw and I lost it. Yeah, it doesn't name it, but it says that the Cowboys were told they are not allowed to. I don't have it in front of me again. So it just says the Cowboys were told today they're not allowed to ask for permission to interview a coach for the offensive coordinator position who's still in the playoffs.
Huh.
I just lost it.
Now I wonder who it could be.
Well, I didn't say. It just said, here's the stat of the day for you, Mr. Statman.
Ooh, stats. I love stats.
A petition started by a Rams fan to remove Bill Vinovich from refereeing the game this weekend is approaching its goal of 7,500 signatures.
Well, that's not going to work out.
The Rams are 0-8 in games Vinovich has officiated since 2012.
Ooh, not a good stat I want to hear. Not what I want to hear. About to be 1-8.
There was oh, wow, go Kitty.
Okay, yeah, somebody's in here.
No, that's not it. She's just angry or something. So yeah, it's me too loud. I'm trying to sleep. So did you see the giant effing shark seen off of Hawaii?
Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Holy by the love of God, right?
You're right. No, I saw it on Snapchat. It was Snapchat.
Yeah. So I saw it on Twitter. So the shark in Jaws was 25 feet long
Big effing shark.
and weighed whatever. The shark that is real, that they saw in Hawaii, that they first documented on Shark Week in 2014 in Mexico. So the shark has gone from Mexico to Hawaii, apparently.
How long of a swim is that?
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do? You're a giant shark.
Yeah, but how long is it?
Long. It's a 6-hour flight from Phoenix to Hawaii. I mean, so how long does it take you to swim that, right? But so the shark in Jaws is 25 feet long and weighs whatever it weighs. This real life shark is 20 feet long, 5 feet shorter, and weighs like 100 pounds less. This shark is Jaws.
It's Jaws.
So check that out if you haven't seen that, folks. That's why I want to bring that up, because I just saw it again. Things, man, and people are swimming with it.
Well, one last thing.
You already said one last.
Yeah.
You're that guy.
Whatever.
One more question.
One last thing.
One more question.
So we talked earlier about it, just briefly. Dennis Smith Jr., debacle going on in Dallas right now.
Has he come back to the team yet? Or is he, I saw
according to-
Carlisle begged him to come back. or
So
whatever.
it's just been a weird week. So Rick Carlisle has been saying that he's sick. Dennis Smith Jr. is, people are like, hey, Rick,
he was kind of doing something,
DSJ
right?
just said on Twitter that he's out eating lunch, hanging out with Mavs fans, and that he loves everybody.
Yeah, he was like playing basketball at the Y or something.
Guys getting sushi right now.
He's running laps outside a mall.
Out in Dallas right now, Deep Ellum hanging out, with Zeke and Dak and all those guys, and you're still saying he's sick. And then there was talks about reconciliation and all this stuff, and nothing's really been solved yet. I'm not blaming DSJ for this.
Really?
I think, like Rick Carlisle, he's an old school guy. He's old school.
You just piqued my interest. Okay.
He's an old school guy, and when you look at like track records of Rick Carlisle when it comes to like young draft, well, there's a concert going on.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. Apologize.
But when you look at the timeline of like young guys that Rick Carlisle has had underneath his helm, they've never really amounted to anything under Rick Carlisle. Like you had to throw Luka out of the thing because Luka was a pro for 3 years before he even came here. He's been a pro for 16 years.
Yeah.
He's a different type of guy, but like they just never really pan out well with Carlisle.
You follow this story a lot more than I do, but here is what I have heard regarding this. Because of course it came out this week that the Suns are interested in Smith Jr., which turned out to be completely false. It just floated out there by Smith.
Well, there's a few teams that were like, we want to trade, and I was like, we're not gonna get
the Suns
whatever.
had no interest whatsoever. So, from what they're saying, so it's the second year. So what people are saying is, actually, Dallas people that are next to the team this is what happens when you're the star and you have to play basketball with the ball. Like, he needs the ball in his hands. And when you draft a guy that comes in and has the ball in his hands all the time, you tend to look at everybody and go, what the heck? Last year I was good enough. This year I'm not. I'm not the same player. I need the ball in my hands to play, because he needs the ball in his hands to play. He's not the guy that you can pass to and have him shoot it. He needs to start with the ball. You take that away from him. So I agree with you. I blame the Mavericks for this because he doesn't fit in their system anymore, and they need to do something with him. Because you have the guy that needs the ball, and you have two guys that want the ball and two guys that need the ball. So they're just naturally going to butt heads right there. So I can understand. I actually agree with you. I do blame the Mavericks.
From what I'm hearing, though, is that Luka and DSJ do have a pretty good relationship.
But that's fine. They can have a good relationship. It's the system. He's not mad at Luka for being so good.
Right.
He doesn't know where he fits in because he needs the ball. What was that game earlier this year where it was the end of the game and they threw the ball for Luka and they threw the ball into him and he kept it and shot it and Luka was like, what the hell? Throws his hands
I
up.
would have made that.
Yeah. Well, Junior would have made it too last year, But it's a failure of the organization to realize you have two square pegs, fighting each other. Basically, that's why he wouldn't be good in Phoenix, is because Booker's their point guard when he plays, when he's not injured. And he needs the ball in his hands. So you can't bring in a guy that needs the ball in his hands to play with a guy that has the ball in the hands. And Dallas doesn't seem to realize that. Like, they're trying to tell Smith Jr., oh, don't worry about it, man. Just come in and play, We'll get you the ball, stuff like that. That's not the type of player he is. And he's not mature enough as an older player because it's only his second year. He's still got that I'm the best guy on the team attitude. I mean, look at Kyrie this week, right? In Boston, he's telling LeBron, like, I was too much immature to listen to you and stuff like that, So, it takes a maturity to get to that point. And so this is a complete failure on the Dallas Mavericks. And it's going to implode the team. Hopefully it doesn't do damage to Luka because it could. It could filter in, even though they have a good relationship, it could filter in. What if he starting to give him the ball to go up the court instead of playing his game to try to make him happy?
Well, first, he has to show up, I guess.
Yeah, right.
They have to invite him on road trips. I don't even know.
Well, that's the other thing. He left, but some of the media people I was listening to basically was like the Mavericks were like, "Go home, we're trying to trade you."
Yeah. And that's why, Carlos was he's sick.
Yeah, it's like you.
And the guy's not sick.
Which message is going? You can protect the guy, but you can also tell everybody, "Hey, the guy's home until we can trade him," because you don't want him to get hurt.
And that's the thing that happens. Once your name, NBA players especially. I mean, remember last year we talked about the whole, we want the All-Star draft, on air. Yeah. We want to see what happens. But no, these guys have feelings and they will get hurt. And when you